Welcome to the ninth webinar on the ninth Intelligent RPA's webinar. This webinar will be how to extract appointment from 1 week and produce an Excel report. This webinar will be presented by Sébastien Lavoigna. And yeah, Sébastien.
Yeah, hello. Thank you, Julien. Welcome, everybody. So today we are talking about appointment in Outlook. And funny scenario is extract the appointments and put them in Excel. Okay. So we'll do that together. So let's start with a quick agenda, same as usual. Okay, webinar presentation, hands-on and questions. So the presentation is what I have just said. So the plan is to fill 1 week in my calendar. So I have already prepared that. I will just show you the result, but it's not really interesting to see that. So we will fill a week, and then we will delete some appointments just to show you how we have to work with appointments. And then we will use I would say specific functions to help you to extract appointments between from a time slot. Okay, and we will push it in Excel. So I am using my developer version on my developer laptop because I am a developer. It was the most convenient for me, but you will be able to do that from this version, okay, 1.0.6. First of all, before to start, we have to talk about some concepts, okay? So I want to explain you two concepts, otherwise you can be lost, okay? So what is the difference between an appointment and a meeting? Okay, we have to know that because in our daily work we use one or the other one without to take care. What does it mean really? However, here it's really important. An appointment is a calendar object. Okay, so everything that you see in your calendar is an appointment. It's not a meeting, because a meeting is an email containing an appointment. Okay, so if you work on your calendar, you always work with appointments, always. Okay. So keep that in mind. So just to be clear, when you create a meeting, you send an email to the recipients, and in the same time, inside the meeting, you create an appointment. It's hidden, I would say. Second concept is how to work finally with the appointments. So we introduce a concept which is named appointment context. So to explain that, I have a quick story. Okay, so guess you are a student and you want to work. You go to the library and you want to work with books. Okay, you want to search something. So you go to library, and the first step is to select the books. Okay, because for Outlook it's the same. You have a calendar. All your appointments are on it, and you have to select some of them in order to work on them. Okay, so here you want to select some books. Okay, so to do that, we have a method which is here. Okay, called the filter. The name is filter. So as a student, you select some books. Okay, so you do that thanks to the filter method. Then you go back to your table, to your office, to your desk, anyway, and you will read them. Okay. But you understand that you cannot read all of them at the same time. You have to start by one book, then switch to another one, maybe come back to the first one, etc. Okay. So to do that, we have method select first appointment, next, previous, and last. Okay. And that means at one point of time you have one current book, or in our case, one current context appointment. And then all the action that you will do will be on this current context appointment. So on one side, you select on which appointment you want to work, and then on the other side, you say what you want to do on it. Okay. So this is why we will do a scenario where I will delete some appointments just to show you how it works. Okay. But it's the same if you want to accept appointments, if you want to refuse them, etc. So let's go for the demo. So here, this is, as I said, my real calendar. So I select a week in November just for privacy. There are a few meetings which are real meetings, so I don't want to delete them. I have prepared the scenario to configure a week, so I click on it. And you see that some appointments are appearing. So this is, of course, typically something that you can do with a product because I use a product, okay? But I don't want to show you that because you have activities to do that, and typically in Outlook now you have activities on appointments, okay? And you can create appointments, so you have just to drag and drop and fill the properties, so it's very easy. So I would say I have nothing to show about that. So first of all, I want to show you what we will do, okay? So we will perform the code to delete the private appointments. So as you can see, I have created some private here, some others flagged with webinar, and they have different colors. Why? Because if I open this one, all are fake, okay? Everything is fake. But here you have categories, okay? And typically for this one, I select private, but you can select the one that you want, of course, on your machine. You can create them. And for some other meetings here, I have selected customer 1, for the other one, customer 2, customer 3, etc. And so we will see that in the next action. So first of all, we will do together the code to delete private appointments. So like this, okay? And then we want to extract the rest of the appointments and push them in Excel. So I show you the result now. Okay, so Excel is created, and if I select that and double click, yeah, we can see the subjects of each appointments, start time, end time, category. So this is what I say, category 1, 2, 3, etc. And the duration of the meeting. Okay. So as you will see, we will do a dynamic code. That means if in the future we add other properties here, it will be automatically added. Okay, nothing to change on your side. Well, so let's start. So I will come back here. I stop this. Okay, I will create a new project. I would say demo. Same for the title. And let's say SAP. Okay. Okay, we are now in the project. So then maybe just, I suppose you trust me, but okay. Then we have to add Excel and Outlook. Excel and Outlook. Yep. Okay, and then we will create a scenario. So the first one is to delete private appointments. Let me see, I made maybe a mistake because they are already deleted. So 1 second, I will create them. Sorry for that. I start my other scenarios. Yeah. And configure private only. Yeah. So they are back. Okay. So I switch to the new project. Webinar demo. Okay, now let's start. So as we have seen, we have first to select on which appointments we want to work. Okay, so on the category appointment, you have context. So open context, and you will find the method that we have discussed. So appointment context filter, and select first, last, next, and previous. What is the last one? This one is very useful. This is to know if there is a current context appointment. So typically, if you are doing a loop, as soon as this one is returning false, you know that the loop is done, typically, and we will use it now. So first of all, we have to select our appointments. Okay. So let's feel which one we want. So I want to select the week. Okay. Here I am in English culture, so I have to write the date with English culture. 6 p.m. Okay, and let's say subject contains so once again we want to remove those ones, okay, the purple ones. I come back here. So the execution of this step now will select them, okay. By default, this method, this activity will select the first appointment in the list, in the filtered list. Here, I wanted to show you something I would say a little bit special, because we are talking about deletion. And every developer knows that when you talk about deletion, you cannot loop on a list and delete the first one, then delete the second one. It's not authorized by the system. So we will do the opposite. We will start from the last one, and we will then we will remove the previous one, etc., etc. Okay. So first of all, I select last, select the last one, okay, and then we will do a loop. So loop. We start the loop, okay. We come back to the beginning of the loop, okay. And of course we have to exit at one point of time. So what will be our exit condition? Okay, it will be, we have to know if there is still a current context appointment or not. Okay, so as I said, we have seen an activity, and if we use it behind the scene, of course there is a method, and if we use it, we will know if there is a current context appointment or not. Okay, so typically we will use it here. Okay, so we select Outlook, appointment section, context section, and is current appointment exists. That's it. Okay. So until now it's pretty easy. Just drag and drop. We have selected what we wanted as appointments, and just our exit condition. And I will put that here. And now we have to select, of course, what we want to do in the loop, of course. So we said we want to delete appointments. So go in appointments and find delete appointment. I push it here, okay. And if you just do that, so that means here we have selected the last one, we start the loop, here it will be okay. We delete the appointment, so we delete the last one, and we loop to the beginning. And if we come back here, there is no current context appointment because we have just deleted it. Okay, so we have to select the last one. Okay, we have to move it in the loop. So it's why here it's a little bit special as an algorithm. It's why I wanted to show you that, because generally what you will do, typically if you want to accept some appointments, you will filter them. Here you don't care because, as I said, this one will select the first one, so you won't have to do this one. You will start the loop. Exit loop will be exactly the same condition that here, and you will maybe drag and drop accept, okay, which is here in the list, accept appointment, for example. And here, instead of last appointment, you will say, I want to move to the next one. Okay, and typically, I would say a classic scenario will be this one. You filter, you do nothing here, not existing. You start the loop, you set the exit loop with this condition, and then you do what you want to do. So forward, accept, decline, something, and then you go to the next current context appointment. Here, as I said, it's a little bit special. It's why I wanted to show you that. When we delete, remember that here we are looping on a list of appointments, and we are deleting them in the same time. Okay, so it's why I wanted to show that, because yeah, it's a little bit special, as all developers knows. So it should work. As you have seen, we have just performed drag and drop. Huh? So let's, oh yeah, of course, one last action, which is of course to release Outlook. So let's start this. Let's try. As you have seen, I have not said I want to remove 5 appointments, 2 appointments. It will be dynamic sense to the loop and the exit condition. I will remove that. So let's start what we have done, and private appointments are removed. Okay? So the next scenario that I want to show you is, of course, the extraction, because this is our main topic here. So let's stop the studio, and we will create a new workflow. Let's call it okay. So here we could say I will do the same. Okay, I will use the filter, then I will perform a loop, and for each appointment I will fill I would say a local variable, and then we will push it in Excel. Okay. Yes, of course you can do that. It will work. However, we have done a helper for you. So you have just to drag and drop that like this. Okay. And here you have to say what is your time slot. Okay. So I will use the same. Let's say, but anyway, we don't care. This is a week. Okay. 6 p.m. My memory is good. Yeah. And this action, this activity will return an array, so let's say a list of objects, and each object corresponds to an appointment. So we will store that in my appointments. You can give the name that you want, of course. Okay. And that's it. We have extracted the list of the appointments in this time slot. Okay. And now we want to push that in Excel. So let's find Excel. Excel, and something which is new in this version is we have organized Excel activities. So first of all, I want to start Excel. Then we'll create an Excel files, still with drag and drop. Here we will have a custom action to format our data and push them in Excel. And we will, of course, then release Excel to let Excel open. Like that we can see what is inside, and find Outlook and release Outlook. Okay, so I will build that, and we will fill the custom step here. Okay, this scenario. So of course here it's custom, but you can rename it, and it's better to understand your scenario. So here, remember that we have field a property named my appointments. Maybe you can see it here. Yeah, it has been auto-generated, as you can see. And this one contains a list with all our appointments. So what we'll do is we'll create a variable first, data to write, which corresponds to the data that we want to push in Excel. Okay, this is an array. You can consider that this array corresponds to the rows. So in this array, we will push other arrays, and each array will be a row, one row in Excel. Okay. So the first row is a little bit special because this is I would say the title. Okay. The property names. So let's fill it together. We start to check if there are appointments because maybe you have done a selection which is returning nothing, okay? Or maybe it will return something, I would say one day, and for any reason you have removed them the next day. So if you run again your scenario, if you don't take care about that, you will have an exception, of course. So here we'll check the length of my appointments. I remember that my appointments has been auto-generated and contain the list. So we check if we are if the length is less than 0. That means we have no appointment. Okay, so nothing to do. So you can have a log like this saying yeah, no appointment, anything that you want. It's not really important. Appointment, okay. Else, what does it mean? Here that means we have appointment. We know that we have appointments here. Okay. So what we are going to do is we will fill the title that we have created, which will correspond to the first row in Excel. Okay. Then we will, I would say, build the data that we want to push on Excel and write the data on Excel. I will do it here in my custom step. Of course, you can fill a local variable and use it in your activity, in the activity to write data on Excel. But here, as we are doing code, I continue with code. So first of all, fill the title. So to do that, something very easy. As I said, we are doing a dynamic code. Okay, I don't want to say I want to remove only 5 appointments, only, I don't know, 2 appointments. We want to have something dynamic. So here we will loop on the property in root data my appointments. So this is my list. Okay, appointments. And here I select the item 0. What does it mean? Item 0 is my first appointment in the list. Okay, and we won't have an issue because we know that there is an item 0. Otherwise, we will go here. Okay, thanks to this test. Okay, so we know that we have 1 appointment, and all of them has the same structure. So if we take the first one, the second one, the last one, the result will be the same, except that here we know that we have a 0, so we won't have any exception. And in title, okay, which is defined here, we will push the property. That's it, this property. So you see the loop is very simple. We select 1 appointment, and for each property we push that in title. Okay, title is so an array of property names now. And we will say I want to write this title, so of course I push title in data to write. Okay, good. So now as soon as we will push data to write, we will have the title on Excel worksheet. Now let's build the data. What does it mean? We will loop on the appointments and fill our array here with the appointments information. So how do we loop? Okay, very easy. I would say this is a normal loop. There is maybe something to generate. No, let's try. Yeah, it's better. Index. So I call my local variable index. So makes sense. Count. So what is a count? So this is how many appointments I have in my list. So first of all, of course, I select my list, my appointments. I don't remember if I have a S, just verify. Yes, S, okay. My appointments. And so I need the length of that. Okay. So now, here we are doing the loop for each of them. So now, so for each of them, we will create a row like this. Okay. We will as well select the current item, which is so appointment, data, appointments as any loop, and this is very standard. And you take the item at the index position. Okay. So now we have our current appointment, and we want to fill the row for that. So how to do that? How we will fill this row for each property? Same as here, because here we have done a loop on an appointment, and we have selected all the properties one by one. So this is exactly what we want to do here, except that here we have push the property directly. That means the property name, but now we want the property value. Okay. It will be the difference. So we start with the same loop. Okay. And in current item, this is why I have created current item. Of course, you can put raw data, my appointments, parentheses index here if you want, but for readability, it's better to create. Okay, and now in row, which is here, my array, okay, corresponding to one row, I want to push the property value this time and not directly the property name. So I select this one. Current item property will return the property value of my current appointment for this current property. Okay. And then same action, of course. I have fill row, so now I have to say I want to write the row. So I push row in data to write. That's it. The loop is done. And so now we have just to write data to write in Excel. So to do that, as I said, this is a standard, fully standard method. Set full range values. Let's start in A1. Start where you want, of course. What do you want to write? Data to write. And that's it. Okay. So to summarize, we have extracted the appointments, and we have made a simple code here to format an array that we want to push in Excel from the cell A1. Okay, so let's try this. Okay, this is trace created. We have our second scenario, so I click on it. Excel is created. We see Outlook is, and now, so up. Here we are, and we have extracted our appointments. Okay, so you see that we have the subject, the start time, end time, category, duration. And finally, I have never used subject, start time, end time, category, or duration in my code. We can do that once again thanks to this kind of loop, very easy. Okay, we will run on all properties for one object. So it's conclude, I think, the hands-on session.